Hello and welcome to tonight's race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway of the Blackout Racing League. We've got the V5 Designs 195 coming up for you here tonight. And I've got a special guest in the booth with me tonight, Mr. Christian Taylor. How you doing?
Doing good. Looking forward to racing this newly redesigned or retextured Charlotte Motor Speedway. Gonna be some good racing action from the Blackout boys on the track tonight.
Yeah, it's the same old Charlotte. It's just got a new fresh coat of paint, literally and figuratively. Basically redesigned a lot of the looks, and I know with the Roval stuff, a lot of the they added the new NASCAR layout, and a lot of the curbing has changed and stuff. But we're not worried about that today. We're going to be watching the same old normal oval tonight as qualifying is getting started. We've got about 13 trucks looking to set a time on the board. Anybody in particular you're looking to see tonight?
Well, last week we saw a great battle on the track. Dylan Morante up there. Going to be one to keep an eye on. He also had Kurt Bray involved in that battle. It pretty much came down to those two trucks. So I have a feeling it's going to be more of the same tonight, but somebody who wasn't here last week that's here tonight that I'm going to be invested in keeping an eye on is the number 9 truck of Frank Warner.
Yeah, Frank, a good friend of ours. We've known Frank a long time. It's Kurt Bray getting sideways there on his second lap, but he's quickest so far, but not by a big margin, by 1/100th of a second. And now William Hightower in the 45. I'm just going to start calling him Quint Hightower. He tied Kurt Bray's time, but Bray must have been a little bit quicker down to the milliseconds.
Definitely so. Of course, I think last week it came down to tire saving, so it's going to be the same thing here tonight as who could save those tires. Charlotte, the surface it's getting a little worn. It's getting a little old. You could pretty much in the truck, take. I know you could take 3 and 4 just about flat out. So, but if you do it, it's going to pay a cost to the tires.
There is a new quick time on the board. William Hightower in that 45. Top of the board, 30.57 for him. As we've got a couple of drivers starting their qualifying effort. Dylan Morante in the 36. Last week's winner, correct?
That was correct. Took it home at, what track were we at last week? I can't even remember.
We were in Nashville, man. You don't remember all your beautiful guitar playing and country music references you were making all night?
Yeah, definitely so. I do now. It all comes back to me.
Logan Gill also making his qualifying effort in that 88 car. We saw him in his beautiful mane of hair last week. Of course, he ended up out of the race fairly early. Dylan Morante crosses the stripe to begin his second lap. I'm sorry, to finish his qualifying effort, actually, and he's 0.5 off the pace.
Ooh, that's one of those things you wouldn't guesstimate.
Logan Gill now in the second place, 2/100ths off of William Hightower's time. There's still more guys out there. One of them here, Ivan Desham in the 7, coming out of turn 4. This is his final qualifying lap. Bottom of the board at the moment. Let's see if he can improve. He does. He moves up to 4th, 0.4 off of William Hightower's time.
Ivan's got some speed here tonight. Going to keep an eye on him throughout the race. Now, Andrew R on the track.
It looks like a lot, but I'm pretty sure it seems like it'd be fairly simple. I think it's just Rutenrain in the 42 coming across the stripe. I believe this is his debut race here in the Blackout Racing League. He's currently 8th.
He's got that Pepsi truck on board. Now here comes the Dr. Pepper Cherry of Frank Warner, hometown New York City. New York, not New York City. He's gonna knock. I was gonna say,
I know Frank is not from New York, but he is in 4th place, moving up the board, passing Ivan Desham's time. Also getting a time in there is the 41 of Charles Balance, good enough for 6th, and the 23 Tony Jeffries finishes his qualifying effort, but he is now on the bottom of the board, over a second off of William Hightower's time. A slow lap for that 23 car.
2 names in the race has not entered the track yet to make qualifying attempts. Going to be Justin Bell and Travis Burton in at 8 and 92 respectively.
Look at the 88 truck. He's out here celebrating like he's won the race. We haven't even run a lap yet.
You know, I talked to Logan Gill earlier. He says there is no doubt about it. He's parking it in victory lane tonight, and he even told me that after qualifying, he was going to practice burnouts. And I guess that's just him telling me exactly what he was going to do.
I was gonna say it definitely seems like he's showing some confidence, and of course, he did qualify second. He's only 2/100ths off of William Hightower's time, so Gill definitely gonna be one to watch tonight if everything can stay clean here tonight. We've got probably about 4 minutes left here in qualifying. There are a few trucks that have yet to hit the track, and if they do so, we will definitely bring that action to you. But for now, we will see you once we get closer to time to grid. We're back with you. We're going to run through the starting grid for tonight's race. Just as quick as we can here. Pulling it up. Let's get you to row number 1 here. On row number 1, it's going to be the 45 of William Hightower. Next to him is going to be the 88 of Logan Gill. Not sure where he is, though. He must have been sleeping.
All right, and moving on back to row number 2, you find Kurt Bray in that 99 machine to his outside. Frank the Wolf Warner for Storm Motorsports in the 9 car.
Row number 3 has the 7 of Ivan Deschamps and the 41 of Charles Chucky Balance.
Back to row number 4, you find Max Milazzo in the 77 and Brian Newell to his outside in the 24 machine.
Row number 5 is the 36 of Dylan Morante and the 42 of Andrew Rootnarain.
And you find Tony Jeffries in the 11th position in the 23, and Travis Burton is outside to the 92.
Starting it off the end is the 8 of Justin Bell. We're getting ready to drop the hammer tonight here at Charlotte. Green flag is in the air for the first time tonight in the V5 Designs 195. Carnage already, trucks going everywhere.
Definitely so, but your leader Hightower gets the good jump. Kurt Bray in his wake. You have Frank Warner out there ripping the high side, but then that 07 car gonna slide up in front.
Hightower looking to run away with it. He's getting a pretty big gap already to the 99 of Bray. Max Milazzo settling into the third spot in that 77. Dylan Morante, Frank Warner wrapping up the top 5 here as we finish lap 1 and move on to lap 2.
Lap 2 indeed, as we're heading around turns 1 and 2. Hightower, almost you could park a bus in between him and the 99. Then you find Morante in the 4th position. You know, last week it was the Bray and Morante show. We're going to see if it's anything like that tonight. However, it looks like there's some drivers that have plans to ruin that action.
Yes, we got, it looks like the 41 and the 9 were getting to the wall a little bit there, but let's talk for just a little bit about last week. We were at Nashville Fairgrounds, I believe. No, it was Nashville Super Speedway. We were at Nashville Super Speedway, and it kind of turned into a fuel mileage race and definitely a pit strategy race. It didn't really come down to speed, although it did come down between the two, what I'd say the fastest guys were, but it really was all strategy.
Definitely
so.
Whoa,
Look out,
the
77 into
right
the
there.
wall.
That's actually the 77 of Milazzo in the session there. He got really upset in that turn. Gonna lose a few positions here.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to come across the 99 of Bray's nose a little bit. Dylan Morante said thank you and moved up to second off of that move. But look at William Hightower. He's leaving these guys.
Yep, that makes you think he's got the speed tonight, but then also in the back of your mind, you got to wonder if he's just burning those tires up to get away, and if that's the case, they'll catch him here soon.
His last lap was the fastest we've seen tonight with a 31.04. Not quite able to do it again. That second lap, there was a 31.23, but that 45 truck is definitely looking pretty quick, and we'll have to wait and see if Dylan Morante can reel him back in, as it looked like the 41 of Charles Balance a little all over the place early. He's gotten on the wall a couple times here in that 41. Whoa, 99's around.
Probably off the. Oh, and Frank Warner has nowhere to go. Contact there. This is going to change the course of this race for sure. Going to have to see what happened, but we saw previous contact between the 77. Looks like there was another incident up the way. Oh, that's just that's the 77 too.
Yeah, well, we caught it live. We'll go back, of course, and look at it again, but 99 of Bray going around. Let's see if we can find that replay for you. We'll hop up in the Harpoon Design blimp cam for this replay.
It's like the 77 just cooked it into the turn and I mean, just flat out dumped him.
I have to agree with you. It looked like I'm not going to steal your phrase. I'm going to let you say it, but the 77 definitely was...
All gas, no brakes with it. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean as we look at it again here. I don't know if,
just drove right
the 99 had to let off the gas or what happened, but he definitely did just take him out.
Well, there is one option when the car in front of you lets off the gas. Actually, you have two options. You know, you had the right pedal lift or the left pedal push. He did neither.
Yeah, that was definitely early wreck here. Let's ride on board. Let's rewind it and get on board with the 77 and see if we can see anything from in the truck that's going to change our minds about this one.
It just didn't even look like, even after the contact, it didn't look like the truck had two. Oh, we didn't even notice him getting smoked by the 41. That was a hard hit right there.
4 trucks involved total. As we go back live, I believe the 9 of Warner, the 77 of Milazzo, the 99 of Bray, and the 41 of Balance all involved in that one. Hightower, Morante, and Roopnarine, your top three.
Blake Hutchison in the chat. He says, "You know what I say, Jesse?" He says that was intentional.
Yeah, if you're Blake thinks every single wreck is intentional. He doesn't think anyone can make a mistake. But it could
Definitely
be
not.
intentional. There could have been beef between the 77 of Milazzo and the 99 of Bray. I mean, he definitely didn't give the 99 any sort of break there.
You know, we saw chatter in the league talking about it's always Morante versus Bray there. Tonight, it's going to be a different story. Bray's took out early. It looks like he's back on the track now, but we're going to see at what cost. He's definitely probably had to use a fast repair if they have one.
I do believe these drivers do get one fast repair as the lights are off on the pace car. We're going to be going back green. I do have to ask, let's go ahead. We're 8 laps in. We've seen one wreck. We're not too far into this race. Who is your pick to win it here tonight, Christian?
Well, you know, I was thinking about that earlier, and I was going to go Bray, but he's definitely going to be behind the 8 balls and move on tonight. I'm going to go with Dylan Morante. He's going to go back-to-back here this week at Charlotte.
If I had to choose, I think the speed of William Hightower in the 45 in the front here, he took off from everybody, and I don't know if it's just because they were side-by-side battling or if he's just that quick. I mean, I'm sure we're going to find out as this race goes on, but he's going to be my pick right now.
Definitely so, but the field is set. They're heading around 3 and 4. For one more time, the pace car's looking scared. He's going to go ahead and get on out of the way. He knows there's some hungry machines behind him.
A couple of Houdini acts, too. It looked like the 42 of Roopnarine blinking a little bit there as we come out of turn 4. Pace car getting ready to come off. I'm going to let Christian take us green on this restart.
Pace car is off. William Hightower leads the field to the restart zone, which is actually the Echo Park restart zone here tonight. Green flags in the air. And we're back racing here at Charlotte.
Whoa!
And we already have a car over the 8 into the wall. 88 involved. This car's going everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we were done before we got started.
I don't know if the 8 missed a shift or got run over, but that was definitely where it all started, was with the 8 of Justin Bell. We'll have to go back and take another look.
It looked like the 8 just got loose. I actually watched it live on the stream. It looks like the 8 just got loose and turned up, and then, of course, the trucks behind him had nowhere to go.
Let's go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and see if this replay will show us anything here. That's way too far up in the sky here. Let's bring it back. Rewind it just a little bit here and see if we can see what happened. All right. He doesn't get touched by the 88. It looks like he just spun the tires.
Yep, that's one thing you're going to see here on restarts where people do not pit. You know, these tires are just going to be rough on restarts, I'd say.
It's unfortunate for the 8 and several other trucks involved, such as the 88. It was stuck kind of behind him there with nowhere to go. As we see, Morante hits pit road on her on lap 10.
Definitely going to be some strange strategies. Also see Travis Burton and Tony Jeffries on pit road also. Justin Bell.
No surprise that Bell goes to pit road after getting in the wall a little bit, but interesting to see the strategy already splitting here. We're just over 10 laps into this race. It's lap 11. Maybe people are thinking if it stays green from here, they want that little bit of a tire advantage they can get. That's the only thing I can think of with this move.
Well, the reason I'm going to say it's not going to stay green is because unlike at Nashville where they quickly got separated, I'm seeing them staying bunched here tonight at Charlotte. So it's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on. If they stay bunched, there's more chances for those incidents to occur.
Yeah, it's almost a little bit like a drafting track here in the trucks. At least the last time I drove it, you could almost run wide open through the corners. So it almost is a little bit of pack racing until the tires start to wear down. So if we can maybe get to that tipping point to where we get some wear on the tires, they might spread out a little bit, but until then, it's going to be some close quarters racing.
So, pace car lights are on. They're going to go around one more time before we get going. Tonight is the V5 Designs 195 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Take a moment. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Way you know if you're subscribed or not. See if you can send us a message. If you can't, hit that subscribe button. You'll be able to.
Absolutely. If you want to engage in the chat, I'm sure we've got some people in there. Blake Hutchison in the chat earlier. I'm sure Connor Gerard in the chat earlier. If you want to talk with those guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. Also, check out the Discord. It's a good place to hang out for sure. It's kind of a bit of a iRacing community we're trying to build. Is the 42 blinking again?
Connor Gerard talking about that race at Bristol last night. Definitely something that Goodyear did right is bring a tire that will wear. You know, Goodyear for the longest time wanted to provide a reliable tire, and they did it, but they did a little bit too good of a job. To have good racing, especially in these Gen 7 cars that have some aero issues anyway, you got to have tire fall off, and that was the case last night. It made for a great race. I only caught the ending of it myself, but it was very entertaining to say the least.
Definitely a fun race to watch, and the tires certainly made it interesting. Speaking of making it interesting, with this restart, we're going to go ahead and do our first Harpoon Design Bring the Noise when the green flag drops. We're going to go ahead and crank it up and listen to the sounds of the track. As they go into the restart zone, they'll be going back green flag racing any second, and the green flag is back out here at Charlotte. As we're back with you here from Charlotte, William Hightower, Quint in the 45, continuing to lead the way in the V5 Designs 195. Although he's got a bit of a new challenger behind him, the 24 of Brian Newell, up 6 spots. What are you seeing so far from that 24 truck, Christian? Christian may not be available. Might be muted on his end.
And I certainly was, but what I was saying is the Brian Newell is right here, is trying to make a charge to the lead. It's definitely seeing what we're going to be having in the next couple of laps from him. If he's going to be able to catch Hightower or not.
Yeah, the 24 pushing hard early. So is the 36 of Moranti. He's also up 6 spots. And we've got some side-by-side racing back here between the 41 and the 42. Charles Bounce, Andrew Rupenrain.
You didn't see it there in the Bringing the Noise segment. There was a little bit of a scuffle back there. It actually involved Milazzo getting off the track a little bit. But everybody stayed clean and green.
I heard a little bit of some interesting sounds during that Bring the Noise. Wasn't quite sure what happened. Looks like the 36 of Moranti. He's definitely trying to go back to back. He's making the move for second, running that high line. Getting the momentum out of the corners, looking good.
Definitely so. I'm also seeing Kurt Bray back up to the 4th position too. So at the beginning, you know, almost took out of this race. He got that fast repair, got his truck all fixed up, and back out there, seeing what he could do in the longer run. But right now, you're still your fastest car on the track is the leader, William Hightower.
He's showing the way to go right now. He's definitely the class of the field. I mean, he's led every single lap we've had tonight so far. Everybody, even Moranti's come down pit road. You know, he's got potentially fresh tires on that 36 machine. He could have done fuel only, but yeah, in fact, I think he did do fuel only, as he was only in pit lane or in his pit box for about 6 seconds. But even still, Hightower, he doesn't care if his tires are getting a little older. We're 22 laps in, but you know, with having 2 cautions, there aren't too many laps in those tires just yet.
Definitely not. Maybe he just felt like the tires wasn't wore, so he said he would make a little bit more of this run.
But as we run through the field here on lap 23, Quint, Hightower, William in the 45, leading the way. Dylan Morante holding down that 2nd spot. Brian Newell in 3rd. As you mentioned, Kurt Bray has worked his way back up to 4th place. And the 77/07 of Max Milazzo, he's holding down that 5th spot right now.
You got Justin Bell right here running in the 6th position. Behind him, you'll find Travis Burton in that 92 double bent gum truck from Baton Rouge. Moving on back, you'll find Chucky in that 41. He's part of Blackout Motorsports house team. Moving back behind him, you find Ivan DeChamps, who Logan Physician gave a shout out for. Top 10 run for Ivan DeChamps tonight. Andrew Rupenrain in the 42 Toyota. Logan Gill in the 88. Frank Warner and I might have. Well, we'll see. Logan Gill coming down pit road though. Interesting call
Green
here.
Flag pit stop. Is this a strategy call, or is Logan Gill just done with this race?
Well, on lap 25, especially only a couple laps after the restart, I don't know what strategy this could be.
We did see the 88 out of last week's race pretty early. We might have that same situation again. I'm not sure. I don't want to say anything that is untrue. It must have just been a pit stop 8 seconds in the pit box, and he's taking his way back out on the track.
Definitely so. But William Hightower still successfully defending off the charging Dylan Morante, who's kind of came to a stalemate right there in front of Brian.
It looks like the 24 has been gaining a little bit on these two, though, here in the recent laps. He's getting pretty close to the 36's bumper.
Going to see some side-by-side action here in a couple laps probably then, and if that's the case.
William Hightower still has the fastest lap so far tonight, about a tenth faster than Morante and Newell behind him. As you see these guys migrating up the track as these tires start to wear, that high line definitely starting to become the preferred lane.
I know in the Cup car it's very exciting or fun to run up there, but you know, at least in the Cup car, if you're up there, you're killing that right front. Maybe in these trucks you can lean on that rear side a little bit more.
You can definitely see these trucks a little bit sideways coming out of the corner, especially we might be able to see it here and coming out of turn 4. Watch that 24 truck whenever they come out of turn 4 here. We'll see if that thing slips a little sideways. No, it stayed pretty steady for him that time, but sometimes you'll see the back end of these trucks stepping out when they come out of the corner.
Nothing wrong with little slideways in your life. That just means you're doing something right.
I completely agree. A little bit of a slide job, some would say.
But we've kind of... Oh, what is
Whoa,
going on
hold
back
on
here?
to
I
it,
was about to
Chucky.
say we're all single file. Chucky gets on upset right there. I don't know if it was off the bumper of the car in front of him, which is the...
Let's back that
Justin
thing
Bell
up
in
a
that
little
8
bit.
truck.
We're still green, but we'll take a look and see what happened if he just got loose on his own, which I think is the case.
Definitely so. The car behind him is a little bit too far out. He just slaps the wall, gets a little bit of side slapper coming out of the turn. Able to woe it back down and save his night, which almost came to a premature ending right there in front of our eyes.
Yeah, he did a good job of keeping it straight, though, I gotta admit. Is Travis Burton in that 92. He just got by Justin Bell. That's for the 6th spot in that double mint Toyota Tundra. He's running that high lane, too.
Makes me want a piece of double mint right about now. I
You a
forget
big
how it
fan of
tastes.
chewing gum?
Not usually, you know. Only in, you know, when you think your breath's a little stank, you got to get a piece of gum. But other than that, I just tend to brush my teeth and be good throughout the day.
When I think of gum in racing, all I think of is the famous Ricky Bobby quote. If you don't chew Big Red, then, well, I'm not going to finish the rest here on stream.
Don't want to finish the rest on the stream. I couldn't imagine why.
I mean, we've already had one F-bomb slip here on the Hutchinson Motorsports TV in the last couple of streams. We're not going to have a second as the 45 of Hightower expanding that lead almost up to a second now over Morante.
Jesse might be scared, but I ain't scared. If you don't chew Big Red, then you.
That is Yep, that's what it is for sure. Oh man. Looks like the 24 of Newell experimenting with his lines here in 3rd, trying to figure out a way to get past the 36. He's been running the high line. Hasn't been working for him. He looked like he was running right on the paint there through 1 and 2, trying the low line out. I don't think it's helping him any.
Definitely doesn't look that way, but we have in the chat, JT Tinker, how you doing?
Hopefully JT is doing well tonight. 21st best driver in the Hutchinson Motorsports TV power rankings. You can check those out in our Discord.
Is that overall? 21st overall, or just in his respective league of stars and drives?
It is 21st overall. It's a technicality because they're the only league listed currently, but he's 21st overall.
Oh my goodness, what a run from JT to shoot up the power rankings as we got some pit stops underway. William Hightowers and Kurt Bray, Brian Newell all decided to pit that time around. Gonna see how that comes out as we're now on lap 35 of 130. 95 laps to go here in the V5 design 130. I probably said that wrong.
It's the V5 Designs
V5
195.
195.
Yeah.
I was correcting myself. I was getting there, trying to redeem myself of my little, you know, I would say very rare, but it's honestly pretty common slip of the tongue.
You are an expert in the English language as the 8 of Justin Bell loses it on the pit road. I was going to say, it looked like the 92 of Burton was sliding sideways, and then the 8 said, hold my beer. and just sent the whole thing right all the way around. Yeah, that's
so.
the ESPN
Justin.
not top 10 play. You just heard the sound in the background.
That notification was courtesy of my team is currently winning the fantasy football league for Hutchinson Motorsports TV, which is always good to see.
New leader on the track, the 7 of Ivan DeSham out of Valrico, Florida, getting his time here in the spotlight. Ivan's been a staple around iRacing for me personally. I've been racing with Ivan for probably 3-4 years now.
Yeah, but since I started 2 years ago, I've had my fair share of running with him on the track too.
Dylan Naranti making his way off of pit road. Let's see where he comes out if the guys that pit before him are going to get a good advantage on him here. And it looks like they already have. They're actually already ahead of him. Look at the gap all the way up here to the 45. It's a whole straightaway.
Well, that gap is actually courtesy of the new quick time. William Hightower beat himself on his previous fast lap attempt. He is now down to a 30.76 there. Shatters his previous record.
Yeah, he is flying. He's the first truck to be in the 30s out of anybody by a good margin. He didn't just barely crack into the 30s. I mean, he's a 30.7, like you said. So he wasn't wasting no time with a 30.9 or a 30.8. He said, just give me the whole thing. Just give me a 30.7. We'll have to keep an eye and see if anyone else in the field can get in the 30s.
He must have read the chat week when people were saying that it's only, Morante and Bray up here. He took offense to that, and he says, you know what? I'm going to come up there and crash that party. Ain't nothing to complain about this week. I'm going to win this thing.
And I got to ask, there on the driver information panel at the bottom, it says the controller guide. You reckon he is doing this on a controller right now?
I mean, I cannot confirm or deny, but all I'm saying is if he's doing it good. Unlike somebody who I saw in the chat earlier who used to be a controller warrior, and that was Logan. And I wasn't personally racing there in those times, but I heard it was pretty bad.
You can just ask this man in the 9 truck about Logan's controller days. He'd have a story to tell you. Because Ivan DeSham in the 7 and Charles Chucky Balance in the 41 still have yet to pit here on lap number 41. About a third of the way through this race, we're going to go ahead and take our first break. But don't you worry, you're not going to miss a second of the action as we're going to go Hutchinson Motorsports side by side. As the yellow flag is out here on lap 44, let's see and figure out what happened. Looks like the 41 of Charles Bounce has crashed. Let's see what happened to old Chucky here.
All right, you see him just coming out the turn. Gets into the wall a little bit on exit and just never reels it back in, goes up, hits the outside wall, slides on down to the inside wall. Truck comes to a stop. Caution comes out. And I want to take a moment to say that somebody stayed out that entire time. The 7 of Ivan Deschamps was still out there when the caution flew.
Yeah, strategy working out for him. As, yeah, it looked like the 41 just kept the hammer down after getting in the wall. And the back end of that truck just goes around and he hits the inside wall. Not a lot of damage to that truck.
We got some notifications that Justin Bell and Ivan Deschamps have crashed.
Let's take a look and see if that is the case here.
Looks like they might be checking up for pace car.
Yeah, that appears to be all that it was. No worries there. Everything seems to be fine as Ivan Deschamps gonna lead the way on the pit road here. It'll be interesting to see who stays out, or if anybody that came down there during the pit stops are gonna come down again. Looks like Morante's gonna come down another time here. As far as guys that stayed out, the 8 is gonna stay out. He's a wave around car. The 45 of Hightower gonna be your new leader. 23 truck of Jeffrey's gonna have to drop to the back. He's 3 laps down. No wave around for him. The 45 stays out. We had just went to break when that yellow flew. Bit of commentator curse. I feel like every time I send a stream to a break, that's when the yellow is gonna fly. We were notified of some issues with some sound issues. Hopefully those are fixed. We'll have to wait and see on that case.
So seeing that 23 truck reminds me of Friday night. You know, we raced, me and you and Blake Hutchison raced in the Talladega 250. That was the Battle for Jackson, a race for life. It was a very good event that the Signature Esports had on stream. It didn't work out too good for all of us. We all got involved in the incident. Jesse won earlier, and then me and Blake won later on. But it was definitely fun. Some good battling action for a good cause out there. The proceeds went to benefit the Jackson's Journey Foundation. So definitely go check out that foundation if you're looking to donate to any good causes.
Absolutely. My main incident during that race wasn't anything to do with on the track. We'll just leave it at that.
Well, I wasn't gonna, broadcast it, but okay.
Look, sometimes all I can say is when you gotta go, you gotta go. But that's all the 45's been doing tonight, is going. He has been flying. He's gonna be on a bit older tires than some of these other drivers out here, I would believe. But possibly not. Let's bring up the stint length board here.
As that comes up, I'm going to mention that I think we're going to see a turn right here. He probably will not hold the lead on this restart. As you see, he's been out there for not too long, 12 laps. And then he has people out there longer, too. I'm not sure that's completely accurate.
The guys there you see that just come down, like Morante and Newell, they did just come down pit road, but their stops were only about 6 seconds long, so I don't think those guys got tires. I think they're still rocking the old Goodyears that they got during the green flag stop. Speaking of green, they're going through turns 3 and 4, and that pace car is getting ready to dip off for the 4th start of the night here.
Definitely so. The pace car going to take that hard left turn. The 45 of William Hightower leading the field to the Echo Park restart zone. Green flag back in the air here at Charlotte.
Close start for these two guys. A bit of a drag race between the 99 and the 45, and that's going to last here in a turn 1. Side by side through turn 2, the 99 can't make it stick. He's going to fall back into that 2nd spot.
Gonna fall back, regroup, get some drafts, see what he could do into 3 and 4 as there's some people jockeying for position further back in the pack. You got Malazzo right here in the 3rd position trying to see what he could do. taking a mid to high line right there, almost middle through the turn, with the Travis Burton quickly behind him as we got side by side for the lead heading through the tri-oval. Kurt Bray all the way down to the grass. Going to make the pass here? No. Hightower on the high side is going to keep it contested through turns 1, 2.
It's a race for the first time tonight, I feel like, between the 45 and anybody else. Kurt Bray not holding back anything. He's got that low line, and he's trying to make it work. He's trying to lead some laps here tonight.
Looks like it. He's all the way into the red. Of course, this is just AstroTurf. I believe that's what they call it here at Charlotte, so it's not going to slow you down at all. As we now have a third car battling with the cars side by side. Max Milazzo says, hey, let me in, guys. We'll make this 3-wide battle.
Yeah, and while these two guys are battling in the front, there's 6 trucks up here trying to fight for position. You've got Hightower, Bray Milazzo, Burton, Morante Newell. Is Burton getting into the wall a little bit? And Hightower's blinking. This is starting to get crazy. Of course, you have the 88 truck there, Gill. He's 2 laps down, so he's not involved. But where's the 45? He keeps blinking. Hopefully, he can keep his connection steady here.
It looks like he might be gone. Ladies and gentlemen, your race leader is back.
Yeah, that's the thing whenever this happens. Is look at the 88 truck trying to unlap himself here. He's going to be able to do it. But anyways, this has got to be a scary moment for the 99 of Bray, because when the 45 disappears like that, you have no clue where he is. And as you see Kurt Bray,
right
I
there,
think
he just jump scared him.
Yeah, he just lost a couple of spots because he didn't want to stay in it and risk wrecking the 45 when the 45 technically not on screen. And look at Travis Burton getting aggressive on the 07/77 of Milazzo, who's sliding up the track almost into the 45. These guys are racing like it's lap 129.
Definitely so. I don't have access to the driver communication channel, but I can almost hear people yelling up here in the booth at the 45 probably for blinking like that. I know I'd be if I was Bray, because that definitely cost him some positions there as he had a jump scare. As Milazzo going under the race leader here down the backstretch, going to see what he has into the turn. Can he make this pass? As the double mint car trying to make it 3 wide. No, he's going to stay behind him. Gets into the wall. So does the race leader. Milazzo under him.
Max Milazzo taking the lead for the first time. Travis Burton still all over his bumper. Where is he going?
Where's he going?
Does he think he's Dale Earnhardt doing a pass in the grass?
He tried
How does he hold on to
but
second?
I don't know. It didn't really work out for him as far as taking the lead. He definitely tried to do a shortcut there, it looked like. My, oh my. He's lucky this ain't a road course. He'd have a slowdown.
I'm going to make a segment up right now. V5 Design sponsoring this race. That was the V5 Design's move of the race. It didn't get him anywhere, but it certainly was cool.
It sure was, as he's back at the action right now, challenging your 0777 machine, whatever you want to call him, for the race lead. Thank goodness this is not real grass here, because that would have definitely sent him around if it was.
Hightower not finished with his fight for the lead, and Morante back up in this picture. I mean, early in this race, you would have thought it was a one-truck show, but this has proven that it is not. This has gotten really interesting here in the last couple of laps.
Definitely so, as it looks like Milazzo is trying to run away as they're side-by-side, taking advantage of the battle for second. He just wants to get out of Dodge right now. He knows that the trucks behind him are hungry, as Travis Burton's going to clear for second finally and chase down Milazzo for your race lead.
As this is getting exciting, let's go ahead and see what the view is like from the Harpoon Designs blimp. As Kurt Bray in the 99, you can see him there in that red truck. He's starting to enter the show.
Look at the view from this blimp. It just makes me so emotional.
Again, if you don't know the lore behind this blimp here on the screen, we once had the Hudson Motorsports TV blimp. It unfortunately, in a fiery crash after a car, ironically sponsored by the Air Force, torpedoed into it from the racetrack up into the sky and brought it crashing down in the infield. Brantley Road with Harpoon Design stepped up and sponsored our new blimp.
It definitely was a horrible day, a dark day. We honestly refer to it as Day Black for Hutchinson Motorsports TV. But out of the ashes always rises the Harpoon design blimp, looking beautiful up in the sky.
I know that Blake has to fairly often scour the internet to find images of the blimp crash and request for him to get taken down because no one wants to see the aftermath of that. But, you know, with every dark dawn becomes a new day, and the new blimp, definitely beautiful and bringing us better camera shots than ever. I mean, take a look. Just another look at this.
It just makes me emotional, Jesse.
Just a perfect view of this 4-car battle here.
Burton takes the grass line again.
I will tell you one thing about Travis Burton. Fun fact, I don't even know if you know this, Christian. Travis Burton was a former teammate of mine. And if I can tell you anything about him, is he'll do what it takes. He's not afraid to experiment, we'll say. He'll make the move that no one else can see coming. As that move does not work out for him, though, scraping the wall. The 77 of Milazzo taking a page out of the 92's book.
You know, NASCAR is notorious for, you know, if it's paved, it's legal, but they are going a step further tonight. If it doesn't slow you down, take it. So we're going to see people
Moranti diving to the inside.
Side by side for your race lead. You're heading out of 4. We're going to see if the 07 gets up into the wall. No, he's going to keep it straight. Going into the tribal. Dylan Moranti, your new race leader, as no one takes the grass line this time around, at least.
Made it look absolutely easy out there getting by that 77, but if we've seen anything so far, it's that the lead is not safe right now. I mean, it's changed hands so many times. The guy that dominated the race so far, he's all the way back in 6th, is William Hightower. He's slipping back. Not sure if it's strategy or if these guys have figured something out that's ahead of them.
We'll say Dylan Morante's best lap. It's not the fastest of the night, but he's actually cracked the 30 club with Hightower. So only those two have managed to crack that 30 club. As Morante's pulling away right now with a half a second lead at a side-by-side battle for second.
As we're getting ready to hit the halfway mark of this race, lap 63 about to be 64 out of 130 in the V5 Design 195. The Max Milazzo taking the...
What? Travis Burton, too, was way down there. I can't believe what I'm seeing, Jesse.
These drivers have committed to creating an alternate line through the tri-oval. And somehow is working extremely well.
Are you hearing any radio chatter from this at all?
I'm not hearing anything. I think it's just like somebody's seen it in the mirror and going, I don't know if they're thinking that's smart or that's hilarious or what, but a little bit of copycat syndrome going on. But it's definitely making for some interesting stuff.
Well, we saw the airborne that Travis Burton had there. He was off track for 1.03 seconds there.
And still managed to hold on to his 4th spot. I don't think he gained anything, but he certainly didn't lose anything. There's Kurt Bray, Travis Burton coming down for pit stops here on lap 66. I thought they might have crashed trying to do the infield trick again, but no, they're fine. They're just making their pit stops.
Going to be the start of possibly this next pit cycle here.
I do believe that Dylan Moranti pitting this time.
There he heads on in.
Max Milazzo going to come right with him, and the 36 locks it up. Wow, what a save from those two. Justin Bell doing it again in the background. Bell was 2 for 2. This time he's facing the opposite way on the opposite wall. Justin Bell might have overcorrected a little bit, but he's heading down pit road now. As Ivan Deschamps, once again, a familiar face in the lead. I think this is full-on deja vu starting to happen here. I don't know.
Yeah, you had Justin Bell tripping over it going into pits, and now Ivan Deschamps leading it here at Charlotte.
As you see the 36 of Morante making his way off the pit road, 4 fresh tires on that 36 machine. Max Milazzo didn't lose much time. He's right there with him. Still 4 fresh Goodyears on that truck as well. Quickest on pit lane out of the 3 of those trucks, though, Travis Burton got off on and off pit lane in a hurry compared to those guys. Might have helped him there on the track just a little bit.
Well, now that he's got some fresh tires, the grass line will be a little bit better probably for him, as he obviously probably do it again.
As we can see here, we can see the pit lane times. The scoreboard's a little bit all over the place. You want to look at 4th place and down. You see Morante 30. We can't see the new times yet, so we'll come back to that actually here in a few laps and see if we can get the new times on the board. But it's an interesting way to compare, because pit lane, especially in iRacing, isn't as much about the actual pit crews, the virtual pit crews, as it is how good you are at getting on pit lane and how good you are at getting out of your box. That's where you make the most time up in iRacing. I'm certainly not the best at getting into my pit box, as is the lore of my life, pretty much.
I was about to say, you getting into your pit box is definitely the difference maker for you, as you're known to slide straight through. And I've even heard you took out a few right front tire changes in your day.
I have. It's become a running joke to the point it's almost worse than my my bump and run nickname that Blake Hutchinson gave me years ago. It is the fact that whenever he sees somebody slide through their pit box, he calls it a Jesse stop, which it's kind of cool because it's almost a shout out, but it's not a good shout out if you know what I'm saying.
Yes, that's for sure. But we're seeing some intense battle back there. The truck goes around. That looked like the 99 of Bray. We're going to stay green. But he's off into the grass after doing a little bit of a spin-a-rooney. Caution comes out now. Ladies and gentlemen, Kurt Bray.
The yellow does fly, and looks like there's some nose damage on that 99 truck.
We're going to have to see what happened.
Charles balance off track at the same time, so the 41 might be involved. Let's go back and take a look here. Let's bring it back a little bit farther. Oh, it looks like the 92 of Burton. Just dooring each other coming out of the turn 4. And Burton, I don't know if that was intentional or not. It looked a little fishy, if I'm being honest with you.
Let's just get an on-car of Burton, and we will know for sure. I have my suspicions.
Let's bring it back one more time for you here. 99 of Bray. Heavy damage from that. I don't know if he was quite a contender, but he was definitely looking quick.
That's just
hop on board like the roll bar cam with Travis Burton.
You're going to see him get pushed up into the wall. Oh, yeah. He just definitely harder left than he needed him.
Yeah. Kurt didn't leave him much room whatsoever, to be fair. Burton really didn't have anywhere to go on the first contact, but I don't think that's any excuse for left hooking anybody, or right hooking them rather. But deja vu once again. Ivan Deschamps stays out and leads the way to yellow flag pit stops after everybody else comes down during green. The only difference this time is we've got a lot more wave rounds. Before, everybody was pretty much able to get their laps back before the yellow flew. Not this time. You see the 36 of Moranti here. He's getting the lucky dog. He's going to be able to pit. But going through the names, you've got Max Milazzo, Travis Burton, Brian Newell, Quint William Hightower, Justin Bell, Logan Gill, all drivers looking to get the wave around to get back on the lead lap. They're not able to come down pit road here.
They are not, and one thing this is going to lead is Ivan Deschamps is going to be your leader to restart. It's going to be interesting for sure.
The last time he got shuffled back a little bit, he had a bit of a long time on pit road, but this time he's going to lead us to green. It'll be interesting to see that 7 truck drop the hammer here soon, as these guys are going to get their wave arounds. Now,
Ivan may not be the fastest, but can he strategy himself in to a good finish here tonight?
Yeah, I don't know how much track position seems to matter here, as the 99 of Bray was able to work his way forward pretty quickly from the back. I imagine a lot of these guys are going to be able to do the same thing.
Definitely so. It's just going to be playing the long game if they can make it to the end from where they are right now, as we still have a blinker.
Yeah, the 42 truck blinking all night, it seems like. Not as bad as the 45 was at that one point. But
one thing I just noticed is it took them forever to pass the pace car. They might not make it around fast enough here.
I was going to ask you if you had any pet peeves when it came to getting a wave around. You might not think, you're like, oh, they're going pretty slow, it'll be easy to catch them, but sometimes if you don't get on it, you're not going to catch up to the field in time.
Yeah, when I especially if I'm like 5 or 6 back, you have about 3.2 seconds, if that, before I'm queuing the mic up and I'm saying something, because you got to. It looks like they maybe extended the caution there, maybe pace car. Yeah, it looks like they
back on the pace car. We're gonna go back around one more time,
which is a good thing when that actually is discovered. But race control not always quick to see that the cars aren't making it. But like I was saying though, you're getting waved around. You're a lap down, especially when you can look at the scoreboard and see that no one ahead of you is on the lead lap. Just go at that point.
Yeah, you got to be ready to drop the hammer and just to make sure, especially in officials, because you're in a league race, as you just saw, if needed, a caution lap can just be added on. If you're in an official and you're following somebody else around for a wave around and they're just dilly-dallying, it could make you lose your mind.
Definitely so, and you can't pass them because you'll get a black flag on restart. They're going to have a single file restart for the most part. You have the 23 of Tony Jeffries. I can't talk tonight. Going to be on the high side, and everyone else is going to be single file.
This is the weirdest part of all this to me, is that Tony Jeffries, he isn't even on the lead lap. He's just the only other person, I'm pretty sure, to not hit pit road there. But he's going to be starting.
Going to be an interesting restart.
3 laps down, starting front row outside. Next to Ivan Deschamps, going to lead the way to green for the first time. The 41 of Bounce, he's sitting there in the second row. He's a lap down. 88 of Gill's a lap down. This restart is going to be chaos. All the fast guys are in the back as the green flag getting ready to go once more. Pace car is off.
Ivan Deschamps takes the green flag. As you got some people immediately cutting to the outside. I'm not sure if we have any league rules about that, as we're 3 wide back there in the trioval.
That was very interesting. It almost looked like people weren't sure if that was the actual green flag or not. There's definitely looked like some people on the brakes there, but everybody getting kind of settled out. Look at the lead that Ivan Deschamps has here.
He's gone.
The 23 there He's got his lap back. He's only 2 down now. As we got 3 wide back here. Wow! How did Max Milazzo squeeze through there? He almost got turned by the 41 truck. That was a bold move out of the driver from Petaluma, California.
So he still got a blinker
Whoa!
back there. Where did he go? Where's he going to come back? No one knows. Justin Bell gets loose there.
I was going to say he got into the 36 a little bit. This is some craziness here on this restart. Justin Bell, your biggest mover right now. He's sitting in that 5th spot, up 8 spots from where he qualified. But Ivan DeSham, he's lapping that 23 car back again.
You know, I said Ivan didn't have the speed earlier, but he is up there holding his own in the lead. I mean, still a second lead. Good job, Ivan, here tonight from Florida.
You see the 77 of Milazzo on the right side of your screen there, along with the 45 of Quint Hightower. They're making their way back forward. But looking at the last lap times, Ivan DeSham's time's pretty comparable to those two.
This is great. Ivan also has 2 lap cars behind him, which is going to act as a shield. This is a great effort from Ivan here.
I'm not quite sure if he's running the optimal line down the backstretch, but if it's working for him, then so be it. You see the 77 of Milazzo hitting that lap traffic now.
Definitely remember Ivan sending some pictures of his pool. He basically has his own little bachelor pad back there behind his house. Looks like he's got some rest and relaxation in, and he's out there showing them how it's done here at Charlotte as Milazzo's passing the lap cars behind him, going to wash up the track, has to get out of it, or he almost spun the 88 there.
I was about to say, that truck's looking a little tight right now. Almost getting into that rear quarter panel of that 88 truck, had to back out of it. Maybe he's burning his stuff up. This will be really interesting to see if the 7 of DeSham can somehow hold on to this. I mean, there's still 50 laps left. We've got a long rest of the race ahead of us. But I really thought that these guys were going to catch him a lot quicker, to be honest with you, and they just haven't done it.
Definitely seen some great racing here from these 13 cars here tonight. Definitely putting on a show here in the Blackout Racing League.
Let's go ahead and take a closer look here as these drivers come around this track with the Harpoon Designs. Heap the paints here. You see Ivan DeSham of that Timber Wolf scheme, got the wolf on the hood and the sides. No wolf on the back. Looks like he's got one on the truck bed there too. What do you think of that paint scheme there for the 7 truck?
Timber Wolf paint, you know, it doesn't look that bad in my opinion.
Let's go to a scheme that we know and love from real life. 77 of Milazzo, even though it says the 07, I do believe this is a paint that... Did Carson Hocevar run this paint in a truck race recently, or am I making things up?
I really can't tell you. I'm not sure. All I know is he's the 77 in session, so he definitely needs a new paint job to match his number.
Let's check out one more paint. This is my personal favorite here in the whole field, is that 36 Blackout Motorsports paint there for Dylan Moranti with the Vice colors. That thing is absolutely sweet. But if you are in search of a new paint, you can check out harpoondesign.com, I think is the website. I'm not 100% positive, but if you go on Trade Paints and go to
Design.
You go to #1 painter, you're going to see Brantley Roden, and he's got all sorts of designs that's already made that you can throw on your vehicles. Or if you want a custom one made, you can do so for only 25 bucks. Yes, you heard me right.
Ivan the Champ's second, still maintaining his second lead over now Bell. As I don't know if there's some strategy going on to try to make it last to the end or not, but Ivan the Champs is flying out.
Yeah, he's one of the fastest trucks out of the whole field in that 7. Finding the speed everywhere he can get it. I don't know why the scoreboard on the left side says he's on pit road, but that is completely wrong. We see him on the track right now.
Yep, it's been actually saying that since the restart, so we're not going to really worry about it, as he is still putting on his clinic here tonight.
We will be sure to let you know the first time that Ivan Deschamps does actually come down pit road. I don't know 100%, but I imagine these drivers are going to have one more stop at least for fuel here tonight. Caution.
Caution is out.
Big junk in turn 2. A couple of trucks stopped. The 07, or sorry, the 77, the 45, the 92 damaged. Firecrackers happening on the chat. Let's go take another look from the perspective of the 45 of William Hightower.
Oh, 07 just comes down. Oh! Travis Burton hard into the wall. Had nowhere to go there.
Let's back that thing up a little bit here. Go ahead and take a closer look between that 99 of Bray. Slow it down. Walk me through what we got happening here.
That's just the 07 comes down the track after some contact in the tri-oval. I mean, I finally got my radio chatter working. He's blaming the 99, but the 99 really had nowhere to go there. I mean, he was already at the bottom of the track.
And the 92 of Burton. Just trying to get low enough to get by it. Can't do it, and heavy damage to that 92. Probably some of the worst damage that anyone got in this whole accident. And he was just an innocent bystander.
Now, I may be remembering it wrong, but wasn't it the 77 that caused or that was involved in the first incident that had the 99 too?
I think you might be onto something.
So we might have a little bit of a driver rivalry, just guys not giving anybody an inch. I'm going to stay on the side of the 99, just really was on the bottom of the track. I mean, had nowhere to go there. So he's having a rough night tonight.
Off of pit road. Justin Bell in the 8 truck gonna win that, looks like to me.
I'm gonna be Ivan Dechamp's biggest fan here on this restart. He is doing so good tonight. I'm wanting to see that 7 car park in victory lane.
As we look here, we've got a few wave rounds. The 41 of Bounce, the 42 of Roopnarain, and the 24 of Newell all getting wave rounds, but the 92 of Travis Burton just involved in that accident. I think what happened is he came down pit road right after the yellow flew. He went right down to pit road, took his fast repair. I believe he's going to end up going to the back here with an end of line penalty. So he's not going to lead the way, and that looks to be the case. It will be Justin Bell in that 8 truck. Going to be our new leader, going to take us to green here in a few minutes. Pace car lights are off, but before we get ready for this restart, we got a quick message from America's crew chief, Larry McReynolds, for you.
I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchinson Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
Hutchinson Motorsports TV is back. The lights are bright and the stands are packed.
Larry Mack spitting the absolute truth. Make sure to subscribe now to Hutchinson Motorsports TV. Hit that like button as well. We're in a bit of a slow period right now, but coming soon, we're going to have about 3 to 4 leagues, maybe even 5 leagues on a weekly basis. It's going to get crazy around here.
Definitely. So stay tuned to all the action here on Hutchinson Motorsports TV, world's #1 streaming service. Catch us on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, maybe. It's coming soon. I may be wrong there, but definitely on Sunday nights.
Sunday nights we've got tonight, and then we've got 2 more weeks of Blackout Racing League coming at you for sure. Green flag back out. Justin Bell leads the way. Ivan DeChamps 2 is outside, holding strong. 7 truck looking like he might have got a little loose there. The 8 of Justin Bell clears him into turn 1. Going to take the lead for the first time tonight out of Topeka, Kansas. But don't look now. The 36 of Dylan Morante, he is trying to make his way up into second.
I don't know if it was the 7 was loose or did he have a bumper full of the 36, but now they're side by side for second into the 3 and 4.
I don't know what's got into this man driving this 7 truck of Ivan DeChamps. I don't know if that last run showing him that he could win this race if he tried, but this is the hardest I've ever seen this man drive in my life.
Definitely putting on a show here tonight as he's hanging strong underneath Morante there as he gets a little loose off the turn, so he's going to fall back to third, but he's not out of this thing yet.
Morante going to take the lead through turns 3 and 4. Is he going to be able to hold on to it, though? The 8 of Bell going to have the momentum. Is he going to be able to go anywhere with it? Quint Hightower, Kannapolis, North Carolina native, making his way back up into the fight for the lead. Led most of the race early on, probably 40 or 50 laps in the books with the 45 in the lead. He's been in a bit of a slump the second half of this race, but we're going to see if he can take this lead back. He's trying right now.
He is flying right now as he is definitely the fastest truck on track right now through that lap. And then, well, now back Logan Gill took that lap, but an intense battle up here. Throw a blanket over 1 through 3 right now.
And we mentioned earlier on how the 45 of Quint Hightower, a.k.a. William Hightower, the only truck to crack the 30s. That is not the case anymore. As the 36 of Dylan Morante, your current leader, not sure when he did it, but he was also able to crack into the 30s, run a 30.79 for that 36 truck. So when it comes to raw speed, that 45 truck and the 36 truck are the 2 to watch. Morante with the lead right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can report of a garage fight right now between the 77 and 99. You saw them involved in that wreck. They are down in the garage throwing haymakers at each other. It's an intense fight down in the garages. Left, right, left. They are hooking each other.
And we got a fight on the track. The 88 and the 7 going through the infield.
Oh, man.
Caution is out. No one really wrecked, but they did go for a ride of their life there. I don't know how they kept those trucks straight. We caught it live there.
We had a fight in the garage, a fight on the track. They're just fighting everywhere here tonight. Jesse, me and you about to fight in the booth. Put them up,
Come
man.
on,
Put them
man.
up.
You don't want this smoke. That is for sure. I will say, who does want the smoke is Ivan DeChamps. He is upset right now with the 88 of Logan Gill.
Let's see if we get a replay on this action.
Let's bring it on back here. Ivan went off track. Those two were off the track for about 3 seconds going through the infield here. Let's rewind it a little bit more.
Alrighty. So we see the 88 on the top side. Ivan's all the way down low. He does come up the track. Yeah, I guess Ivan did come up the track and catch him.
The 88 could have been a little bit higher up, but not a whole lot. The 7 definitely is the one that really come up into him and initiated the contact there.
We're just an unfortunate scenario. My oh my, though, there was some fireworks, fighting in the garage, fighting on the track. Me and Jesse about to throw haymakers in the booth.
Let's go ahead and take us off the air to do that fighting. We're going to take another break here. Only about 31 laps of action left here as we're about to cross over into lap 100. Go ahead and hit that like button and that subscribe button. And we'll be right back with you shortly for some more green flag Blackout Racing League action here in the V5 Designs 195.
All right, put him up, Jesse, put him up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back here at Hutchinson Motorsports TV. They were fighting on the track in the garage, and I tried Jesse in the booth, and all I could say is, ow.
Had to handle some business up here, but these drivers are about to handle some business on the track as they get into the restart zone. Quinn Hightower in the 45, a familiar face at the front, takes the green flag once again here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Dylan Morante to his outside. Gonna slip into that second spot. Justin Bell and Logan Gill side by side for third.
As I lick my wounds up here in the booth, see some, tight action right there. They're 1, 2, 3, 4 in a line, but they're very close to each other. So we got some blinking action in the back.
Burton Newell and Warner getting 3 wide there. Everybody able to keep it together. This is going to be the fight for the lead, I think, between these two drivers, the classes of the field. As far as speed goes, the 36 and the 45. Dylan Morante, your winner last week in that number 36 truck out of Northampton, PA. Trying to put on a show here.
We have some friendly taunting in the chat. As Dylan was saying, come here there, William. As they're side by side through the turn. Can they clear each other? No. Gonna stay side by side through the tri-oval.
Morante going to get credit with leading that lap, and he's trying to take the lead over for sure. Can he cover up out of turn 2? Not yet. I got to say, this race certainly a little bit slow for the first little bit, probably the first 40 or 50 laps of the race. And then it's like a switch flipped. All of a sudden, it's been incredible racing here as you've got a 4-truck battle for the lead on your screen. And the 36 and 45 of Morante and Hightower have been side by side for about a lap and a half to 2 laps now. Morante trying to clear that 45. It looks like he was able to do it, and that's going to let Justin Bell throw his name in the hat for second. He's sliding up the track, though. Is he able to keep it straight? He almost loses it. Going to lose several positions of the 8-truck.
So able to keep it straight, though. Landon in the chat, he says, whoa, is that Frank Warner? Yes, Landon, it sure is.
Frank the Wolf Warner in that 9 truck, running in that 8th spot behind the 7 of Ivan DeSham. Both these guys next to each other on the track. Both these guys, a little bit of an obsession with wolves. Not sure what the deal is. Ivan's got him on his truck. And if you look here, let's see if we can get I'm a bit rusty with the drone, but I'm not going to try to do anything crazy. I'm going to give you the control, Christian. Let me know if you can get right up on the back bumper that night.
Alrighty, I'm right there. I'm right there, man.
All right, let's see if we can get a quick view of that back bumper. There's a little bit of a logo there on the bottom for Storm Motorsports. There is a wolf on that logo. It's a bit hard to see. If you pay attention to the bottom of that bumper, it's certainly there. Let's put that thing away before we lose another one.
You know, you crashed one last week.
Yeah, well, it's like giving a kid with diabetes a piece of cake. It's just an overall bad idea.
Oh, gosh.
But what's not a bad idea is William Hightower. Looks like he's trying to save a little bit of tire compared to that 36 possibly, as we're getting down to the nitty gritty. 20 laps left, just about to go here in this race. It's gonna get interesting. I mean, Morante's trying to grow that lead, but these 3 trucks right behind him starting to look a little desperate.
It's not over till the fat lady sings, as they say, and these trucks right here are going to go on down to the end. You cannot say that these guys have not put on a show here tonight in the Blackout Racing Leagues. It's been nothing but as Dylan tags the wall, they're going to lose some time with Hightower on his tail.
Yeah, Dylan Morante's got to be definitely worried about what can happen if one of these drivers gets to his back bumper. They've been throwing haymakers all night. It's only going to get worse as we get closer to the end, I have to imagine. The move you're going to make on lap 50 of 130, you've got to do something even crazier when you're on lap 120 of 130, I would think.
You got to do whatever you could do to hold on to the lead, and if you ain't in the lead, you got to do whatever you got to do to get up there. There's no such thing as feelings when there's less than 20 to go. You just got to go.
As you see Brian Newell in the 24, he's looking to clear his way into second, and he does. A bit of a quiet night for the 24. I haven't talked about him too much, but he's looking good here as this race is drawing to an end. He's on the freshest tires, I believe, out of any of these drivers. That could be showing in his favor as we take a look at the pit stop times here for these drivers. Not showing all the times, but you can see Newell there with a 15.1 on his last pit stop. Everybody else in the top 7 or 8 with a less than 6-second pit stop.
As Newell has caught our race leader, going to be challenging him for the lead on the bottom side. Down the backstretch they go, side by side into the turn. Turn 3 it is. He's going to stiff it in. Going to see if he can hang it down the bottom of corner exit. This is where if you go in too hard, it's going to show on the exit. He keeps it down.
Side by side across the stripe, a photo finish on 114. We could be gearing up for a photo finish at the end of 130 as these two drivers side by side still through turns 1 and 2. Clean racing between the two of them so far. As these laps start to tick down, that clean racing window I feel like is going to start to disappear. It'll get real easy to want to lean on the other car once it starts getting to closing time, but the 24 are going to be able to cover up here on the 36.
Definitely so. I was about to say the 24 is doing a good job of holding his line on corner exit. He has all the grip in the world he needs right now.
Definitely on the freshest tires for the 24, and it's looking like it'll pay off for him here as long as this thing stays green. The last thing that 24 Newell wants to see is a caution, as we've got some people sideways farther back. It looked like it was the 92 of Burton coming out of turn 2, a little wild. He's had an interesting night in that double mint machine.
Definitely so. He's been involved in a wreck or two as he's going to tag the wall here. He also showed us a new line that no one knew worked at Charlotte. That's called the grass line.
Well, it's not a super new line. It's just been many, many years since we've seen it. Going back to the classic pass in the grass. Of course, it's a bit different when you decide to do it every single lap. Last pass that we had on track was the 9 of Frank Warner getting by the 41 of Charles Balance. 41 a little bit off pace out of Pikeville, Kentucky here. He's slipping back. He's back to 9th now. Barely still inside the top 10 though. He's the last car on the lead lap. As we've got a battle for third between the 45 and the 88.
And that 88, you know, I bet Hightower is hating that battle. 88's holding his own up there in P3, fighting for P3, and I feel like that's just holding Hightower where he is, just battling hard. He would love to go ahead and run down the race leaders, but back there fighting for third is all it's going to be for the next few laps, it seems.
I'm not sure what the reason is. I'm beginning to think it isn't strategy. I think the 45... Maybe this track has changed as this race went on, but he was the dominant truck early on, and he's starting to fall back now, back to 4th as the 88 finishes the pass. But Brian Newell here in the 24 continues to extend his lead with 11 laps to go.
Extend, indeed. He's over a second out right now over Dylan Morante. What a race this has been tonight here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Blackout Racing League on Hutchinson Motorsports TV. Make sure, we're going to say it again, make sure you like this video. Takes a second. Make sure you subscribe. Takes just another second. And send us a comment. Tell us how you're doing. Tell us where you're from and how have you enjoyed this race so far here tonight.
It's really been a great race. Bit of a roller coaster ride. The beginning started out slow. The middle, one of the higher peaks I've seen here at Charlotte in the Blackout Racing League. In these trucks, these guys were throwing absolute haymakers. And now here towards the end, unless something happens with 10 laps to go, Brian Newell on pit strategy is starting to run away with this thing. The only driver to come down and take tires on lap number 99. Everybody came down. A lot of drivers only took fuel, but Newell put a set of Goodyears on, and it turns out to be the right call if he can hold on to this thing for 10 more laps.
If it stays green, if it stays clean, that is. We are not done yet. That black and white flag has not waved Ooh, Dylan Ronnie gets a little slideways off the corn there.
He's definitely giving it everything that truck has left on them older tires. You can see it's almost sideways throughout the whole corner, it looks like to me. Leaning on that right rear tire, trying to get every little bit of speed out of it he can. Of course, he's sitting second in the lineup right now, but if Brian Newell was on the same pit strategy as everybody else, Morante would be still leading this race. The only thing that got the 24 up there is those fresh tires. So Morante's got to be wondering what could have been right now with 8 to go.
Maybe you'll know better than me. I'm trying to look back at least their schedule page. Is this going to be Brian Newell's? I know it would be the first one this season. Has he won a race in this league before?
I can't be super positive on that. The Blackout Racing League history is a bit nuanced. You might be able to find stats for that on the iRacing page. I'm not positive. I know they're not on any other stat tracking websites. But with 7 to go, Brian Newell at least going to be taking home his first win of the season, if not his first Blackout Racing League's win, here in the V5 Designs 195. Lead up to about 2.5 seconds now. Go ahead, Christian.
This is saying, commenting on the fight in the garage. No, there's no further update. It looks like the admins just pulled out the duct tape and turned the lips off for now. But definitely was a intense battle in the garage.
Kurt Bray in the chat. So if he's sitting here in the chat, he might have won.
Definitely.
We haven't heard from Milazzo. That's all I can say.
And Kurt B actually confirms that it would be Brian Newell's first win here in the Blackout Racing League. I ran season 1. I didn't run season 2, but I knew I didn't remember him winning in season 1. So definitely a good running for Brian here tonight. Might take home his first win here in Blackout Racing Leagues.
He's crossed his fingers, crossed his toes. He's crossing everything possible. 4 laps to go, hoping that it stays green. Morante holding on to second. Gill and Hightower still third and fourth. They're fairly close together. If it gets scrappy for that third spot, we could see a yellow possibly. Well, these guys are just sliding all over the place in general. Burnt the tires up. Look at Logan Gill. He's trying to make a pass for second now on Morante. Can he get it done?
Looks like he holds it low off the turn. As we come to 3 laps to go. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 laps to go here in the Blackout Racing Leagues. This has been the V5 Designs 195 here on Hutchinson Motorsports TV. As you still see this side-by-side action battle for 3rd place here. And Hightower behind there wants a piece of this action too.
Hightower just sitting in the background like a snake waiting to strike. If either of these drivers make a mistake, he's ready to take those positions away as they continue to fight side by side for that second spot. And Brian Newell continues to grow his lead up to about 4 seconds now over second place.
As we are down to 2 to go, all Brian wants to do now is to take that white flag as he heads through 3 and 4. For the second to last time, he just wants to see the flag man waving that white flag. 4 more turns for Brian Newell for him to win his first Blackout Racing Leagues win here tonight. Can he do it? Can he keep this train on the tracks? As you see, the battle for second has kind of calmed down. William Hightower going to challenge for 3rd position here as they head through the final turn of the race. Jesse.
Newell comes out of turn 4 for the first time in his Blackout Racing League's career. Brian Newell going to take the checkered flag here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the V5 Designs 195. Dylan Morante, back-to-back podiums, bringing home second. Logan Gill in the 88 going to be third. Quint Hightower fourth. And the top 5 for the 7 of Ivan Deschamps, bringing it home 5th. Franklin Warner in the 9 going to get the 6th place. Charles Chucky Balance going to wrap up the lead lap, finishing 7th. And Brian Newell with an absolute sin of a burnout, taking out pit crews on pit road. Oh my God!
You don't care. He's excited. Ladies and gentlemen, what a race it was here tonight. We got to get some interviews going, but Brian Newell, I know he's going to be electric when we get to him.
I'm telling you, that was one of the best tip-ins I've ever seen. We're not going to talk about what the rear end of that truck is doing. I'm not sure if you saw that on screen or not, Christian. But
Yeah, I did.
that was, oh man, I wish we had seen the original beginning of that burnout, because that was an absolute send from the 24. You can see how excited he was to win this race. He's burning it down. Unofficially his first Blackout Racing League's win here in the V5 Designs 195 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're going to take a short break. Be with you in just a few moments for our top 3 interviews. Back with you here from Charlotte as we watch Brian Newell get his first Blackout Racing League's win. Let's go ahead and talk with the man who finished on the bottom step of the podium, the 88 of Logan Gill. Logan, it's Jesse and Christian up in the booth. Do you got a copy?
Up, guys?
Hey, man, finishing 3rd. It was definitely a heck of a battle between you, the 36 and the 45 there, as the laps started running down, and you definitely were up front for a whole lot of the race. Go ahead and talk us through that one from your perspective.
Yeah, that was really fun with the 45 and the 36, to have a good finish, I feel like we fought really hard all day after we got involved in a wreck and finally got back up there. So to come from the back 3-4 laps down all the way back up to 3rd is pretty good for me, honestly. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, you definitely had a good run there. And I believe it was somebody noticed during last week's stream that your picture there, I saw all the glorious mane of hair. I got to ask, is that real?
It is. It is, man. Been growing it out 7, 8 years.
That is incredible. Christian, do you have any more racing questions there for Logan Gill?
Just saw you hold on to the long run. Think we saw you a lap down at one point, brought it back. All I can really say is congratulations on your P3 finish here tonight at Charlotte.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
You got any shout outs before we sit back?
Shout out Team Blackout, man. Honestly, shout out Team Blackout. Shout out you guys for streaming this,
Absolutely. Well, thank you for being part of the show tonight. That was a crazy race there for like the good second half of the race. So definitely props for coming out of that thing P3, and congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
That was a Logan Gill there in the number 88. Let's go ahead and talk to the man here. Let's get a good shot. The 36 Blackout Motorsports truck. Not able to go back to back like he was probably hoping for, but second's not that bad anyways. Let's go ahead and talk to him. Dylan, it's Jesse and Christian up in the booth. Do you got a copy?
I do.
Well, up in the booth for a second week in the row for you. This time it's not in the winner's circle, but still, second ain't that bad. Go ahead and walk us through that race for you.
It was a good race. Early on, I was kind of playing the fuel game once again. Just playing the longer game, trying to set up for the end of the race. The new if it stayed green like it did last week, then I could get away with trying to save a pit stop again. But it didn't end up doing that, so it didn't really matter. But overall, had good pace throughout the night, and Brian had the tire offset in the end, so he was able to drive away with it.
I was going to ask, was there any consideration for you of taking tires during that last stop when the 24 did?
Not at all, because my tires were essentially brand new. I didn't think that it was going to be that bad of a fall off, because unfortunately that last run was the worst grip I had all race. I don't know what happened to the right rear, but it just fell off like crazy. It was just an unfortunate circumstance, but Brian, he did a good job bringing the truck home, and he had a better strategy. So, but P2 still a good result.
Christian, you got anything?
Definitely so. I was going to talk about the racing all night long. Was definitely, it could have been Hightower's game at one point. Then you took the lead. We saw Brian at the end, but even saw Ivan take a swing at it. It was, anyone's race throughout the entire night. Did that make you want to change your long game strategy at all? Or did you just stick to what you started with?
I stuck with it for the most part. The only time I switched it up was when I got stuck in the back of the field, and then the yellow came out around lap 90, and I knew I was going to be almost good on fuel. So at that point, it was just race till the end. But yeah, it was a lot of good racing throughout the field. There were a couple yellows, but nothing too crazy. It's just a whole lot of racing incidents, and I think overall it was a fun race.
Definitely so. Well, congratulations on your P2 finish here tonight. Do you got any shout outs before we send you back down to your team?
Of course, shout out to you two for putting on week number 2 of this broadcast. Shout out to our sponsor V5 Designs for the night. Shout out to all the guys in Blackout. I know Logan, he had a great finish in P3, and Justin was on for a good finish. I'm not sure where he ended up finishing up, but I think he did wreck at the end there. But him, Logan, and Travis, they were fast all night. And yeah, just once again, congrats to Brian for the win.
All right, well, congratulations to you once again, finishing P2. Back-to-back podiums for the 36, Dylan Ronti.
Thank you.
All right, it's going to leave us one name to talk to, and I feel like this is going to be
electric.
A great interview. Let's go ahead and talk to him, bring him up here in the booth, hear what he's thinking after that finish, the 24. Brian Newell, it's Jesse and Christian up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I hear you.
What a race, bringing home the win, and we hear it's your first one here in Blackout Racing Leagues. Congratulations, and go ahead and talk us through that race for you.
It's a mix of emotions. I can say that. I was trying to stay up front and not be involved in a mess. Then one corner I was checking out for Charles. He was going slow into one than I thought, so I went up high. Well, he went a little high, so I had to check up, and Darren got into me, and I got into the wall and got me off 5 foot. So I went a lap and a half down. Then that late caution came out perfectly because no one had tires left. I had two sets of tires. So I took my set of tires and drove as hard as I could.
Did you know when you came
Definitely.
down during that last pit stop that taking the tires could be the difference there, or did you expect more people to put new Goodyears on?
See, when I pitted, I was looking. I was seeing, okay, how many people are going to pit. When I see they're all like 3-4 second pit stops, I knew they took fuel only. And I didn't pit the first time because I had to take the wave around to get my lap back. So it's like when that last caution came, I was like, I know I have a set of tires. I mean, my teammate will notify me saying they took the last 4, so they're on old, so I had advantage. I told my teammate that it's like I can do something with these set of tires if I can go.
Go ahead,
Definitely
Christian.
go. You did. Definitely go. You did. You know, took it home. Finished with over a 3.5 second lead. You pretty much answered any question that I could ask you. Just a big, you know, I raced season 1 with you. I missed season 2. All I can say is a big congratulations to you for getting it done here tonight at Charlotte.
This is secondly a second ever league win. My first one was in a different one. It was a super speedway, and I got a super speedway lucky win. But I wanted actual one on a normal track, and oh my word, it took too damn long.
Well, you know, one thing I could say is doing it on the super speedway is one thing, but you did it here at Charlotte. You don't just look into a win at Charlotte. You did it here tonight. You got any shout outs before we send you back down to your team?
Oh, of course, my team, Dub Racing, Will and Kurt, and our part timer. He hasn't been here at all, Parker. I always love talking to them. They help me out. They're way much better than me, and I always won from them. And I always will put my respects to them no matter what. And also, thanks for you guys shooting this for all the issues that's been going on.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank you
definitely.
for being part of the show and getting your first, I'd say, intermediate track win. Like Christian said, it's no easy feat getting the win at Charlotte, and you managed to do it here live on Hutchinson Motorsports TV in the Blackout Racing League. V5 Designs 195. So congratulations once again to you, Brian Newell.
And one thing, team race, the V5 as well as thing, a teammate. So a team win, team sponsor race.
Yeah,
Yep,
could
there
have
you
been
go.
better timing for you there.
I would do a burnout, but I blew my engine.
It's so
It's
alrighty, buddy.
okay. You did a good enough tip in to start that thing off. That was a legendary start to a burnout
I've
that
never
we've ever
seen a burnout so good. Yeah. You burned it up. The grass crew is ticked off at you, but you know what? They'll get over it.
I hit the pit road barriers down at turn 1.
Yeah, you sent the back of that truck. The back panel came off, and I think it went about 2 miles up in the air before it came back down. So I can't wait for you to be able to watch that thing back. But congratulations once again on the win here.
I'm definitely watching that was back from the yellow to this. I'm definitely watching it back.
All right.
But-
Well,
Well,
make
congratulations,
sure you like and
Brian.
subscribe.
Yep, dude, I'm so I'm shaking.
You deserve it, buddy. Good job.
All right, we'll send him back down. That was Brian Newell there in the 24 Valvoline truck getting his first Blackout Racing League's win. Brought to you here live on Hutchinson Motorsports TV. Christian, that race turned into more than I could have ever hoped. That was an amazing race from these guys. That whole second half was pretty much electric. Even at the end, while Newell was 3.5 seconds out, we still had a good battle for second and third and fourth. So there's nothing I can say except great job from all these drivers tonight and an incredible race from these guys.
Definitely so. They put on a show from start to finish. It never, you know, Nashville got kind of strung out and it was just, you know, a couple cars involved. But at any point tonight, it was anybody's race. You know, towards the end, you got some cars wreck out. But at any point of this race, it was just a different guy. You know, we started the night with Hightower's domination. Then we went over to Morante taking a little bit of a spell. Then it came up Ivan DeChamps out of nowhere was leading a good portion of this race. It was just electrified here on the Blackout Racing Leagues. You know, anyone's game, like I said 3 or 4 times already. It was great.
He definitely took last week's Nashville Super Speedway race and raised it up several bars, in my opinion, from that race last week. And if I'm being honest, the 24 of Brian Newell, he wasn't even a name really on my radar for getting the win here tonight. And I even mentioned it at one point during the race that he's had a bit of a quiet night. But that's one way to end it real loud, getting your first league win. I'm sure you can talk a little bit about that. Getting your first win in a league is definitely a cool feeling.
Definitely so. You know, I've done it at Super Speedway, still hunting it at a normal oval, but, you know, we're going to stay with it. And I remember winning Daytona, and I believe it was the Donut Box Xfinity. But it definitely was the Daytona, and that was a good feeling there. But nonetheless, Brian Newell did it here tonight, and he earned it, every bit of it. He earned it.
The one other point I want to talk about, looking at the results here, I've got to give a big shout out to Ivan Deschamps getting the top 5. Again, I've raced around Ivan for years, and seeing him get a top 5 finish here with these guys is definitely a good feat for the 7 truck. I'm sure he's got to be proud of that finish.
Definitely so. You know, top 5 for him. Frank Warner took a bit of a break, came back for a P6. You know, just everything about this race, you know, unpredictability was the name here tonight at Charlotte. You know, I don't think we mentioned it one time tonight. This is a crown jewel track. You know, this is the one that everyone wants to win.
And you look at the names at the bottom of the results, 10th through 13th. You've got Justin Bell, Travis Burton, Kurt Bray, Max Milazzo, all names that were towards the front of this thing. Most of them leading laps at one point. All of them ended up out of this race late. It just goes to show sometimes the aggressiveness can bite you a little bit, as you saw the 92 and 99 getting tangled up at one point. The 99 and the 77, I believe, were tangled up. Justin Bell, I think somebody was throwing banana peels out there under the 8's tires getting on pit road, but other than that,
definitely,
he had a fairly good race tonight. Ended up out of the thing towards the end, though. It just shows that sometimes it takes perseverance more than it does speed.
And, you know, definitely so. I just, yeah, I'm at a loss for words for this one. I'm excited after that.
But we're going to go ahead and
next
wrap
week,
this thing up. Now, what track do we have next week? Do you know, Christian?
we are going to be on the Send It 100. We're heading down to good old North Wilkesboro. So we're going to have a great show there with some shorter track racing before we head to Watkins Glen the week after that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they recently rescan North Wilkesboro in this latest update?
I believe they did. If they didn't do it this update, they did it the previous update. But it's definitely going to be looking good as the old North Wilkesboro. I went there for the second year back, and it is a beautiful facility now. And it's kind of tight, you know, if you go there as a spectator. But I could imagine going there as a driver. We're going to see some great racing next week here on Blackout Racing.
Yeah, North Wilkesboro, that old iRacing scan. I'm sure Blake Hutchinson would have called that place an absolute dump. But if they got the new scan in there, that place is going to be looking spiffy, looking nice. Certainly excited to bring that one to you live here on Hutchinson Motorsports TV. Make sure, if you haven't done it, hit that like button. If you haven't done it, hit that subscribe button. It only takes a few seconds, and it'll really help us out. Before we close this thing out, Christian, you got any last words?
I don't, other than, you know, tune in next week for some more racing action here in Blackout Racing League, Hutchinson Motorsports TV, world's #1 streaming service.
I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchinson Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
Hutchinson Motorsports TV is back. The lights are bright and the stands are packed.
42 right there with him. Smokes him. Oh my goodness! Oh! The whole field is junk. It's a parking lot. They door slam each other. Checkered flag in the air. It's gonna be too close to call. Oh, he just got smoked. iRacing. Caution is out. We saw a lot. Oh!